So the other day, I'm sitting there in my underwear eating cereal straight from the box at like 2 a.m., right? And I get this notification that Solo Leveling Season 2 just dropped its final episode. I'm like, wait, how is this over already? I swear I blinked, and suddenly Sung went from that pathetic E-rank hunter we saw in Season 1 to this absolute beast, just casually one-shotting S-rank monsters. And honestly, I'm kind of obsessed with it. Welcome back to Super Smash Anime. Today I want to talk about Solo Leveling Season 2 because holy crap, this season was such a wild ride. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but like, you should probably fix that. Let's get into it. So Season 2 picks up right where Season 1 left off, with Jinwoo embracing his Shadow Monarch powers and basically becoming the most badass hunter in Korea. And let me tell you, A1 Pictures absolutely cranked up the animation this season. Like, remember that first fight with the Ice Bears in the Red Gate? I literally had to pause and rewatch that sequence like 3 times because the way they animated Jinwoo's movements was so freaking smooth. It reminded me of how WIT Studio handled the ODM gear sequences in Attack on Titan. Just pure visual cocaine. The thing about this season that really hooked me was how they just immediately threw Jinwoo into these increasingly impossible situations. Like, he just got these powers, and now he's fighting high orcs and demon lords. There's no learning curve. It's just, here's your shadow army, now go kill God Energy. And I'm like, where's my popcorn? I had talked about the Demon Castle arc because holy shit, that whole sequence where Jinwoo meets Essel and then eventually faces off against Bahran was maybe some of the best animation I've seen in any anime this year. The way they choreographed that fight scene with all the lighting effects and the camera movements make me want to kiss the chef that came up with this slightly infuriating but absolutely fun masterpiece. I kept thinking there's no way they can top this, and then they'd somehow top it in the next episode. And can we talk about Jinwoo's Shadow Army for a second? I mean, Igris was already cool in Season 1, but now we've got tank, high orc warriors, and even that bat demon thing. The way they visualized the shadows was so much better than I expected. In the manhwa, they're just these black silhouettes, but the anime gave them this cool blue aura that makes them look so menacing. When Jinwoo summoned his entire army during the Hunters Guild Gate raid, I actually stood up from my couch. Like, I physically could not remain seated. That's how hyped I was. And the music, this absolutely slaps in this season. I mean, both the opening and ending themes hit so perfectly with the vibe of the show. I catch myself humming that opening song randomly throughout the day, and my better half probably thinks I'm losing it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend the show is perfect. The side characters still get shafted pretty hard. Like, Jino is basically just there to gasp and go Hungnam is so amazing. I mean, in every other scene. And Cha, who's supposedly this badass S-rank hunter, doesn't really get to do much until the Jeju Island arc. They introduce all these S-rank hunters, but aside from a few like Choi Jong-in, are basically just there to make Jinwoo look cooler by comparison. I mean, we know the guy is good, but why waste all that potential? I'm just saying, you got a whole world of badass hunters running around. Speaking of the Jeju Island arc, wow. I mean, just wow. The build up to this was so perfect. They set it up with Jinwoo's mom waking up, making you think he'd be able to focus on her recovery. And then bam, ant monsters are massacring hunters on Jeju Island. The way they portrayed the Ant Queen and her army was genuinely terrifying. Like, look at these guys. These monsters actually felt scary, which a lot of anime fails to do. But the real star of the show has to be the Jinwoo versus Ant King fight. I don't think I blinked once during that entire sequence. The way Jinwoo just goes absolute sicko mode on Beirut. Absolute perfection. When he finally turns him into a shadow and adds him to his army in the final episode, I just sat there with this stupid grin on my face. And let's not forget the post-credits scene in the final episode. Those monarchs appearing, the way they're setting up Season 3, I'm already counting down the days, and we don't even have a release date yet. Basing in Season 2 was actually pretty tight, which surprised me. They covered multiple arcs, the Red Gate, Demon Castle, rank retesting, Hunters Guild, and Jeju Island, without it feeling too rushed or dragged out. I know some manhwa readers complained about certain scenes being cut, but as someone who experienced it mainly through the anime, I thought it flowed really well. I do think the whole Japanese hunter subplot with Goto was a bit like meh. Like, they set him up as this big rival, but then he gets absolutely bodied by Baru before Jinwoo can even fight him properly. Such a waste of a great character. I mean, I know Jin is the guy, but did they have to do Goto that bad? It felt like they were building towards something that never really paid off, but I guess that was kind of the point, to show that even S-rank hunters are basically insects compared to the real threats in this world. But really, they could have spared Gato at least. Anyway, what makes Solo Leveling Season 2 work so well is that it knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be some deep philosophical commentary or complex character study. It's power fantasy anime at its finest, and it absolutely delivers on that promise. Jinwoo starts Season 2 already pretty strong, and by the end, he's basically a god walking among mortals. And you know what? I'm not even mad about it. It's so satisfying to watch. The way they handled Jinwoo's character development was actually better than I expected. He's not just getting physically stronger, he's growing as a person. The moment when he rushes to save the remaining Korean hunters on Jeju Island, even though he originally planned to stay out of it, shows how much he's changed from the selfish, survival-focused hunter he used to be. And to think they now know his big secret, at least Dude's got allies now. And that scene where he tells his sister he'll never leave her alone again, not gonna lie, I got a little misty-eyed. If I had to rate Season 2, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. The animation is god tier, the fights are incredible, and Jinwoo's progression is satisfying as hell. The only things holding it back are the underdeveloped side characters and some pacing issues here and there. I mean, even Scooby-Doo's got mystery incorporated. But when the core of your show is this strong, those minor flaws don't really matter. So that's my take on Solo Leveling Season 2. If you've watched it, let me know what you thought in the comments. If you haven't watched it yet, what are you even doing? Go binge it right now, and then come back and tell me I'm right about how awesome it is. And sorry for the spoilers, not really. Go watch it already. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future anime and stuff. I've got some big plans for upcoming anime this season, and trust me, you don't want to miss those videos. This has been the Stylish Bandit Slayer for Super Smash Anime, and I'll catch you in the next one.